this is Crochet and Beyond. My name is Angela. Welcome here. You are watching now video number 4 from a series here that I developed on how to decorate flip-flop sandals with a knotting technique called macrame. Here on video number 4, you will be decorating these flip-flops even further. So far you have done all the knotting and I'm very sure it's looking really good. Yes, is it? Was it too hard? Hope not. So I'm sure you had some fun here. You may of course use your flip-flops just as they are with what you did with the macrame knotting. I think it looks good enough. But if you do use some buttons, some crochet flowers, or who knows what else you could come up with, it will look even prettier. So I want to go through this process of gluing these items onto the flip-flop with you. For you to do the decorating of the flip-flops with buttons or flowers or any other idea that you come up with, you need some good glue. And what I have here is called Liquid Fusion. And this glue is clear urethane adhesive. It works really well. I highly recommend this one. Have tried other glues and they don't work. Especially hot glue is a no-no. A good feature of this glue is the fact that once you apply it, it doesn't dry immediately. So you have some time to play with it a little bit. And it doesn't stick to your hands like it's never gonna come off. And it's kind of like a gel, I should say. It really is malleable and gives you a lot of room to work with once the glue is on the button or on the flower. If you put it on there and you're like, no, I don't like it, gonna move it a little bit, all that is possible with this type of glue here. So go ahead and get this one here. You will not regret that. Clamps. You need some clamps. There is several sizes here. If you buy a bag of them, this is really cheap, not a big deal. You need these to have the button glued on and attach it right there and wait for it, because as I mentioned, remember that this glue doesn't harden right away. That also means that you can't glue it on and hey, it's ready to use. It will take a couple hours for it to cure and be ready. So make sure that these clamps are available. Also have paper towel nearby. It's a little bit messy. The glue does spread and it's just not gonna be a super tidy job here. So make sure that you have somewhere to wipe your hands. And if it smears on your table and you wipe it off right away, no problem. It's gonna be clear. Nothing will be stained on your table, so you don't have to worry about that. Now what about buttons, flowers, and other cutesy little things that you can find to put on the strap? What I have available here right now is 2 kinds of buttons and crochet flowers. These crochet flowers, I teach you how to make them on my YouTube channel here. You will find a link on the description below on how to make this flower. If you don't know how to crochet, this is not where you start learning how to crochet. This flower is not the easiest project for you to get started. Make sure that you check out my 5 lessons on learning how to crochet and practice your skills there, and then you need to learn how to crochet with thread, which is a thin little something. So you need to transition from one thing to the other. If you know how to crochet, go ahead, check out my flower pattern, and I think you can make this flower here. The difference here is that this one has 2 colors instead of white color that I used on the tutorial. Now, what about buttons? There is different kinds of buttons. There is the typical here that you will see a round button with 2 holes, very flat. In this case, I had flowers and butterflies. Very cute, right? Then I found also some hearts, also 2 holes. This is not a very flat item, so it's a little trickier to glue this on so it stays even. And then also there is the type of buttons that don't have the holes, but they have a knob in the back. Let me get a different color here. A knob in the back that you would attach the string and sew this onto whatever you have in mind. So here I have like a flower, here I have something a little bit more sparkly. Same idea with the knob. Now, if you want to use these, yes, you may, but the problem is that these don't attach directly to the strap really well. Because they have that knob, it will kind of wobble. See, it's different from something flat. Something flat, you just glue it on, you put the clamp on, and it will be not a big deal at all, right? Now with these, that will not happen. It will wobble from one side to the other, and then it might end up like that, and that will not look good. So you need to make sure that you use these in a different way. So what I suggest is, I like to combine these types of buttons with the knob with the crochet flowers. So for example, take this one here, all right, and I like the sparkly one here, so I kind of glue it on here first. I'm going to show you how to glue this on here in just a moment, okay? And there it is, glue it on, let it dry, and then I'm going to put glue on the flower and attach it. Glue it onto the flip-flop. That works with these types of buttons. I am ready right now to show you how to actually apply the glue and how the whole process of gluing actually works. Let's do it? Okay. So my first idea here is to use my crochet flowers. So I'm gonna start with my pink and gray, and I have these 3 pink and gray flowers I want to work with. And yes, you could use them just like that, one after the other. My idea is to put them on the side, triple like that. However, I have an idea here that I think is going to look really neat, is to use these shiny buttons and put them in the middle of the flower. So what I will do is I'm going to get my liquid fusion, and I'm going to put a drop of it on the button. So you see it's a gel, and that I'm going to turn around and just put on the flower. There we go. Or you can do the opposite. Either way works. Put a drop there and the button in the middle. All right, and purple. There we go. Now if if it touches your hand, it's not a big deal. I'm being extra cautious here. I don't want to be messy. There we go. Leave that to dry. Now for you to now attach the flowers to the flip-flop, you need to let this dry for about an hour. Okay, and then go ahead and dry them and glue them onto the strap. Now this one here, this is a different flower. This flower here is kind of holy. See, it has kind of like all kinds of spaces in there. If you would use this one here without like a button in the middle, the glue would ooze out here. So this wouldn't be a very good model of a flower. But with the button, that kind of solves the problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the button upside down and fill it with glue. And this glue doesn't smell bad. It's just so delightful to work with it. Put it there, and there we go. Now it will ooze from the other side a little bit. To make sure it's really nice and glued, I kind of squeeze in a little bit more. That's where a needle might come handy. Kind of like just spread it around. And then here you have your paper towel to go ahead and clean your needle right away. All right, so this is another one that you should leave drying for an hour, and then you can glue it onto the flip-flop. All right, so let's wait on that one a little bit, and I am going to work now with buttons. And I have this pink with variegated color macrame. I think it looked really neat. Now remember, when you do variegated, the colors will go all over the place. Not one flip-flop will ever look the same. So if you like that, go for it. I'm going to use, I like this one here. And then I'm going to do a butterfly and a purple flower. All right. So this is where the clamps will come handy. Now, flat buttons are the easiest ever. Oh my goodness. Just put some glue on it and smash it on. Clamp it and leave it. See, it oozes out, so you might want to clean that up. Okay, so make sure that there is no big blobs hanging out, because once the glue is dry, it is solid and hard. I find it interesting how this glue works. It will work with you right now, but once it's dry, wow, it's very dry. Now these two are purple. I think I'm gonna pick that one. Yeah, all right. So I'm just gonna do butterfly next. I always like to have my buttons kind of like an offset to the side. But you know, you do whatever you want. You may fill the entire strap with buttons. Okay, from one side to the other. I think that would look really neat too. I think for the sake of time, 3 buttons on each time right here. 3 buttons on each side will just does the job, doesn't it? There we go. Okay, another clamp. See, these baby clamps here also work. No worries, there it is. Now what you do from here is you have to wait. Ideally wait a whole day, okay? It depends where you live too. If you're in humid weather, it will take longer to completely dry. If you have dry weather, it will dry really in just a few hours. But to make sure that it's really hot and nothing will rock the boat here anymore, just wait a whole day. Keep it inside a drawer and forget about it. Next day, look at it and it will be super solid. All right. All right, so now let's go back to this one here. It's nice and dry now, but not entirely cured, okay? So this is not done yet. So we'll finish it up as we glue it onto the flip-flop. Now this one here, my idea is to glue it right on to the middle of the flip-flop. This will need a little bit more glue since you see the area covered touching the flip-flop is bigger, so you have to put as much glue as you can. Now not all at once. I start with the center and I kind of spread it out a little bit with the needle and then attach. Now sometimes some flip-flops have a deep groove there, so I have to literally press it into it. And that's where the clamp is necessary. So I kind of like using a bigger clamp here. Like that. But the button might make it slide a little bit. So you really want to find the center for it. Now you need to find also, make sure that the sides here have glue as well. Otherwise later on the flower will curl up. So what I do, I just add a little drop on the side here and a little drop here. Oop, I think that was almost too much. All right, turn it around and no, not quite yet. That one is, it depends once it's dry after a day and you take a look at it, you might want to squeeze a little bit more glue into it. So that's the idea. Once it's dry and you see like, no, it looks a little too loose and you want to readjust. Obviously, it's not completely dry yet, but when it is, if you lift the flower and it's still looking like, oh, I don't think it's quite dry yet. Well, we put a little bit more glue into it and then you're saying, wait a minute, then wait another 24 hours. Well, it depends, okay? Yeah, you really don't want to do these flip-flops in a hurry. They won't be ready in 2 days. You need to take yourself time. The whole knotting will take time, and then gluing it on takes maybe a day or 2 to finalize it, to make it look really nice. But then once you practice this skill, you figure out what works best, how much glue to use, what not to do. So actually, as you can tell, this is immediate right after the gluing. I already took the clamp out and it stays put. So I prefer keeping the clamp there to make sure that the center is touching the bottom of the flip-flop. But you could just leave it drying without the clamp as well. Now, there we go. I hope this helped, and you might find out that, oh, this works for me or that works for me, different ways that I haven't maybe discovered yet. Okay, so that could work for you too. All right, so let's leave that one aside. Now let's do the flowers with the hearts. My idea here is to start at the center, and then then do the purple and do the other clear one. Okay, so same thing. Your heart is already glued on. So let's just work with the flower now. All around. And then glue it on. And again, clamps are useful. Now I'm working with the big clamps here. There. All right. Since there was a button in the middle, the clamp sometimes slides and doesn't exactly center the thing, but I think this one here worked well. Next one. All right. Good. See? And one more time, just like the other one, once it's done, check it out in a couple hours or in a day, and if the flower doesn't seem very well attached to the flip-flop, you might want to put a little bit more glue. I don't have that on the video. My video will finish here, but I think you got the idea, yeah? If you have any questions, don't hesitate to send me a comment and I might try to help you out, see what's going on. Oh, that's a tiny clamp, that worked too. Beautiful. There. Okay, now leave this here for a couple hours or a whole day, and then you will realize how solid that glue is, and you're gonna be really pleased. Okay, there is the other one from earlier, remember? All right, we are done. I gave you 3 options here on how to decorate your flip-flop sandals. I'm sure yours are gonna look amazing as well. I wish I could see them. If you like to, join me on my Facebook group, Crochet and Beyond. That's where you can post pictures of your work as well. Now, for here, please subscribe. Don't forget, don't leave before subscribing right there. And go ahead, like this video, send a comment. I will be posting more patterns of crochet flowers. So if you are into crochet and you like to make your own flowers to decorate this, check out on things that will be coming up. Thank you so much. And until the next amazing project, so stay tuned in.